Welcome to the MLB Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guys Mo Nawara in the Midwest, and we've got Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking to close out this week with a Friday night slate full of nighttime games for us to bring to you guys. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us. We are bringing you these videos each and every weekday of this regular season. Also want you to head to thelines.com. Have plenty of great options there for you guys. Written content all summer long into this fall as we are coming to a close on this baseball season. Want you to use that great odds finder tool as well on there. Make sure you're shopping those lines to the best of your ability on thelines.com. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find those listings in your area. So just what we have for tonight, gentlemen, kicking things off with the Blue Jays in Pittsburgh taking on the Pirates. And Johan Oviedo, Alek Manoah back on the mound there, minus 230 for the visiting Blue Jays. Kyle Freeland and the Rockies are in Cincinnati taking on Luis Sessa and the Reds, minus 120 for the home Reds. Oakland and JP Sears are in Baltimore taking on Dean Creamer, minus 165 for the O's at home. The Nats and Josiah Gray are in New York taking on those Metropolitans, and David Peterson on the mound, minus 260 for Peterson and the Mets at home. The Yanks and Domingo Germán are on the road there taking on Tampa Bay and Jeffrey Springs, minus 130 for Springs and the Rays. The Rangers and Dallas Keuchel are in Boston taking on Nick Pivetta and those Sox, minus 180 for the home Red Sox there. The Mariners and Luis Castillo are in Cleveland taking on Zach Plesac and the Guardians, minus 150 for the visiting M's. The Royals and Daniel Lynch are in Detroit taking on Drew Hutchison, minus 110 for both squads there in Detroit. Miami and Sandy Alcantara are in Atlanta taking on the Braves and Charlie Morton, minus 180 for those Bravos chasing the Mets still. The Sonny Gray Twins are in Chicago taking on Davis Martin and the White Sox, minus 140 for Gray and the visiting Twins. The Cubs and Adrian Sampson in St. Louis taking on Jordan Montgomery and the Cardinals, minus 245 for the Cards there. Houston and Lance McCullers Jr. in LA taking on Reed Detmers. The Angels, minus 145 are the Stros there on the road in Anaheim. And Eric Lauer and the Brewers are in Arizona taking on Zach Davies and those D-backs, minus 155 for the Brewers, minus 105 for those Diamondbacks. The Padres and Yu Darvish are in LA taking on Dustin May and the Doyers, minus 170 for the Dodgers at home. And finishing off this full slate here are the Phillies in SF. Kyle Gibson on the mound for the Phils taking on the Giants, and Alex Cobb. We are starting in Tampa Bay here, Nate, with Domingo Germán against Jeffrey Springs. About plus 102 for the Yanks right now. Seems like a pretty decent bet. Minus 120 for those Rays at home. A total of 7.5 runs. So kick us off, Nate, with what you're looking at in this one.
Yeah, I thought the Yankees were going to pull out of the offensive funk that they've been in for a while, but it hasn't really happened. I mean, they've won a few close games, still have a pretty poor record since the middle of July, really. And Germán, I'm not really trusting him despite the solid outing against Oakland. You look at his previous 5, he gave up about 90%. My bad. 3, 2, 1. You look at his previous 5 starts, he gave up an exit velocity of at least 90 in those 5. Then he faces the A's, gets them to chase a ton, 92% outside contact rate and 52% ground balls. And the previous 5, he just looked way, way more vulnerable than that. Tampa Bay has actually the number 1 weighted runs created plus over the last week and number 3 over 2 weeks. Yankees are still 27th in that department. And so Tampa Bay, they've really tagged Germán in 6-7 career starts here. He has a 9.8 ERA in 3 starts at the Trop because, if he's not going to get the type of contact you want, I mean, that's a fast turf, and that's going to play right into Tampa Bay's hands. Even though they have somewhat unknown or underwhelming hitters in that lineup, they produce, especially at home. They're 42-23 at home. And then Jeff Springs going for the Rays. Interesting profile for him. He's not throwing nearly as hard as he did when he was a pure reliever, but he's also not giving up much hard contact at all. His barrel rate dropped from 12 to 6%. He's getting people to chase at about a 40% rate there. And the Yankees were just kind of baffled by Patrick Sandoval, who is another lefty who can get guys to chase like that. They're only hitting 240 against lefties in the last 2 weeks. So I'm definitely leaning Rays at home here if you can get minus 120 or better, because the Yankees, I think, are still in that tailspin, and the Rays have been super solid at home.
Yeah, going to be a bit of disagreement here. I'm leaning the other way. It's not quite enough for a bet for me. I'm hoping to get Yankees like plus 115. I want to see where the line goes. I would say the pitch type numbers are probably the biggest thing holding me back here. Jeffrey Springs, it's like you said, he's just having a lot of success with his off speed stuff, and just the changeup especially has been the big one for him. And the Yankees have been pretty poor against changeups this year. They're 19th against changeups, and Domingo Germán's best weapon has been his curveball, but the Rays have been tremendous against the curve. They're fourth in pitch values there. But Domingo Germán is just he's pitching a little better than I thought. I had him projected like a 4.6 ERA, 4.7, something like that, but he's got a 4.31 Sierra, 4.12 FIP. I think he's a little better than that. And I just hate this Rays lineup, honestly. I know that you said they're on fire right now, but with Brandon Lau hurt now, and it's just really ugly. Bottom four hitters that I'm seeing projected are, I can't remember how to pronounce his name, if it's Brujan or Brujan. I haven't seen him up in a while, but yeah, he's bad. Taylor Walls is bad. Jose Siri is bad. Francisco Mejia. I mean, these are just bad hitters. So if the top of the lineup was like really strong to make up for it, I mean, it would be whatever. But I mean, even like Manny Margot's not good unless he's facing a lefty. So it's just a really below average looking lineup to me. And I think the Yanks just have a huge edge with the bats. So lean in New York. I think they got Clay Holmes back too. So the bullpen is looking a little stronger. I'm leaning New York, but I do want a little better price than this. It's like right on the border of where I would bet.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is still going to be a pretty good matchup. I think these odds are pretty close for a reason here in this one. So another division race matchup that we are going to be able to cover here is in the AL Central. Actually, the White Sox, there in Minnesota, taking on Sonny Gray. I think we all agree that the Twinkies have the clear pitching edge in this one. Sonny Gray versus the Rook, who not sure you want to trust him down the stretch in a division race like this, and his projections are already bad enough for us to feel pretty comfortable at minus 134 right now, where we're seeing a lot of action for the Twins there, as we say, at home. So kick us off here, Mo. Do you feel pretty strongly you still get some pretty good value on those Twins against the Rook?
Yeah, I
and
love
the
this play. I
Sox there?
haven't had an edge projected this big in a while, actually. Just late season, every sport, things tighten up, more information in the market. But I do think the Twins should be quite a bit bigger favorites than this. Yeah, Davis Martin, he looks about replacement level. Maybe just a little better than that, like probably 4.8-ish ERA. Some of the projections think he's worse than replacement level. So if that's the case, this is an incredible bet for sure. He had kind of an interesting AAA slash line where, his ERA and his FIP really, really stunk, but his XFIP was pretty good. But even like projecting that XFIP up to the major league level, I think you're looking at a pretty solidly below average pitcher. He was 25 as well in AAA, so not like he was young for the level. And then this White Sox lineup, I mean, it's been kind of the butt of jokes the last couple of days in like baseball Twitter and the Discord and stuff. I mean, you just having Elvis Andrus bat leadoff is just laughable. And this lineup, I know the White Sox won yesterday, but the lineup was so bad that the Royals got steamed like 30 cents or something like that. I mean, it was just crazy. I was personally on the Royals, didn't work out, but yeah, the market not impressed by this lineup, and I think rightfully so. It looks like Luis Roberts still going to be out. Eloy left the last game injured. I don't think he's going to play. I know the Twins don't have Byron Buxton right now, but just a massive difference between these pitchers. I mean, Sonny Gray is just having another really solid Sonny Gray season, and we know how bad the White Sox defense is as well. So I'm having a hard time getting the Twins any shorter than or longer, I guess you would say, than minus 150. I think they should at least be minus 150, if not a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the Twins start to climb closer to that minus 150 because the line seemed like it opened a bit off I mean, Sonny Gray's a steady veteran who's just been really, really solid in the second half. 1.9 ERA, 28% K rate, and 87% strand rate all season, getting a high ground ball rate with men on base. So, getting out of those jams, which is exactly the type of thing you see from a rookie pitcher unable to do it. Davis Martin, pretty good swinging strike rate and chase rate, but he can't seem to finish the way he was in the minors, where he had 11.5 K per nine. So I don't really expect much of that to change. His Sierra exactly matches his ERA, so he's, like Mo said, at this level. And the White Sox bullpen, even worse than it's been all season, which is the ninth worst lately. They have a 5.0 ERA the last month. And their offense on the season, negative 27 weighted runs against righties. So Sonny Gray, even though he struggled his last two against the White Sox, I think he turns in a quality start here. And the Twins get the win.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page on this one. It should be a pretty easy target here in that AL Central matchup. Once again, we are staying in another matchup that has serious playoff implications, as I think a number of matchups will down the stretch here, especially in the AL with all of this wild card is a tight race right now. The Mariners are atop that wild card in the AL, and they are currently taking on Cleveland tonight, and those Guardians, Zach Plesac, minus 140 for the M's, looking to stay atop of that wild card, like we said there. A pretty good matchup here, but I think there's still some really good value here on Luis Castillo. I think we're talking about two teams that are in the bottom half of offensive stats here, and then you look at the edge that you probably give to Castillo over Plesac, and I think we're probably looking at a pretty fair line. Is that where you have this, Nate, as you kick things off here? Also have a total of 8 there, if I can interest you in that at all.
I'm interested in the Mariners total because I think Plesac is due to give up a lot more production than he did his last time out, where he faced the Mariners, went 7 innings, gave up 3 solo home runs. I mean, on a 43% home run to fly ball ratio. So that's been his issue here since the second half. 1.9 homers per 9, nearly a 6 ERA. On the season, he's given up 10% barrels. For his career, his aggregate for his fastball is negative 30. So just not a very impressive pitcher, and Luis Castillo is. And I'm also looking at some positive regression for him. His last time against Cleveland, he had 10 Ks, allowed 1 earned, did not get the win. Yet his prop opens here at 5.5 Ks with plus odds on the over. So I'd be all over that at FanDuel for sure. He's just been lights out even before he got traded since July 1st, 2.4 ERA, whip under 1. And now he's on a contender, facing a really inconsistent Guardians lineup that I think he could either shut down or, at least do pretty well against. So definitely like the Mariners here at minus 140 and Castillo, if you can get those kind of player performance doubles. Haven't seen those up yet, but I think he gets at least 6-7 Ks and gets them the win.
5.5 is low for sure, but I think it's low for a reason. I mean, Cleveland, I think Cleveland is the hardest team to strike out. They just make a lot of contact. Overall, though, I do expect a good outing from Castillo. I know that Cleveland is pretty good hitting right-handed pitching, but Castillo's still well above like his early season velocity. And since he started throwing up in the 97 range again, he's basically been practically untouchable. The projections are even stronger for him than I would have him, to be honest. I think Plesac, he's just okay. His fastball was a little bit encouraging last time out, up to 92.9. That was his best fastball velocity of the season. He's got pretty big platoon splits this year, not for his career. So I'm thinking he's like, it's something with his pitch mix and the way he's throwing some of his off-speed stuff. If that's real, then I think it could work in his favor here because he's been a little better than his career numbers against right-handed pitching, but worse against lefties. But the Mariners, most of their best hitters are right-handed. Also, like have Cal Raleigh batting switch, but he's much better right-handed. I'm a little bit interested in the under, actually. I saw a 7.5. If you can get 8, I think under 8 seems pretty good here. 2 very, very elite bullpens. We've talked about that a lot this year. I mean, Seattle's second in strikeout minus walk rate, and Cleveland 5th. So these bullpens have been. I don't expect any great comebacks late in this game, I guess is what I'm saying. So as long as the starting pitchers even just do decently, I think you've got a good chance to cash the under here.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for that. I thought we were going to really feel a bit stronger about that as a group, as that would be my preferred bet in this game. Obviously, the M's do have that pitching edge as well, but I think both pitchers and the combination of somewhat weak offenses for both these teams too does lead you to feel pretty good that 8 might be a little bit high of a total there. So either way, plenty of fun games that we are going to have to choose from down the stretch, especially in that AL, as we mentioned. And that is all the time we have for you in this one. So make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us, as we will be back with you guys next week. So until we see you next, happy betting.